So in terms of connection before content, encourage everybody either shout out the answer, put it in the chat to the following question. This year, what is one action you wish to take to involve others in climate change solutions? We're going to stay on this until we get enough answers.
Well, I've got one.
Actually, do you want to stop sharing, Noel?
Yeah, let's do that.
Thanks. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I think the only one that I can think of right now is I'd like to personally invite more people to this meeting. And what I find is the day or two before the meeting, it seems like my attention is on the slide deck and I don't get time to, send out personal emails to other people. And the only one I made contact with yesterday, unfortunately or fortunately, is having his 80th birthday. So he couldn't make it right now. So anyway.
Thanks for reaching out, Ron. Appreciate it. And I like yours, Helen.
Yeah.
Feel free to join us with Carbon Cashback, encouraging people. And I know with Noel, with EV Hawaii. Nice, Virginia. I don't know what heat pumps are in Hawaii, or heating is, but anyways.
Heat pumps also cool. You're teasing. Oh, I should know better.
Yeah, just being a smartass. So anyway, sorry. Appreciate your advocacy. Yes.
Yeah.
Kitty.
I just read an interesting blog yesterday that talked about the difference between advocating, like on social media, versus taking action. And there's a difference because one moves the needle. I mean, action is what we need, not words. I mean, ultimately, we need people to change the way they vote or change habits, whatever it is that moves the needle. It be because he what he said was that people confuse the two, and so that if somebody is ranting, then they feel like they've done their job, but that is not necessarily, because actions don't actually always follow words. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just want to add to that. So it's something that I struggled with as I was revisiting Hawaii EV's mission. And in our mission statement, we have educate and we also have advocate, and they're compatible and they overlap. But one is about empowering others with knowledge, right? The whole education piece, and then the other is about inspiring action, which is consistent with what you just shared, right? And the set of activities that are necessary for both, some overlap, but others are different, slightly different. So I think a lot of what we do here is a combination of both, but the actions that we take that actually translates into people doing stuff, changing behaviors, etc. I think that's the piece that's a little more difficult, but it is also very meaningful because we know that we've actually made a difference.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Go ahead. Yes, Ruth, please.
Hi, I'm Ruth. I'm in Hilo. I'm also a member of the League of Women Voters, and today we were just talking about participating in Earth Day on the UH Hilo campus. And so we will be registering voters, but actually, voters are automatically registered if you renew your driver's license and so on. But a lot of what we do now is give information about voting, and there are people who have moved and need to re-register. But so I think registering people to vote at Earth Day is a good idea, and letting people know about about what's going on with voting. And the other thing that is that the League of Women Voters is doing what we can proactively to protect the midterm elections. Yeah.
Much appreciated, Ruth. Definitely need that. I see that it seems like CCL must have some kind of a mission here, given the sort of overlap between yours, Bill, and Karina's in terms of what you folks are looking to do. So
I'd like to ask Ruth, what do you plan to do to protect the vote, the election?
Well, one thing is that the League of Women Voters is signing on with Common Cause, ACLU, and other organizations to send letters to the governor and I'm not sure who all else, but to and ask them a series of questions about what what are you doing about this aspect of the election and this aspect of the election. So they're prompting the elected officials to take whatever actions need to be taken to, make sure that the election is free and fair.
Do you think
That's that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Is there anything that we should do in terms of writing to our legislators in Washington?
In Washington. Sorry, I'm kind of focused on the local state legislature, but the people in Washington, I don't know. The election action is at the county level and state level, so.
But it's the president who every once in a while says that he's going to perhaps just not have the election, right?
No, he doesn't say he's not. There's not going to be an election.
He's hinted at that, yes.
Oh, he has said that?
Yes.
Well, he sort of said everything, I guess.
Doesn't he though?
He covers the field.
Mm-hmm. But that's a field we don't want to lose.
Serious people don't think that there's not going to be an election.
So I'll just say I recognize that this is a huge concern and really appreciate what you're doing, Ruth. May I suggest we kind of bring this back to climate and CCL, but actually with what you're saying, Ruth, for those who don't know, CCL has teamed up with, Environmental Voter Project. So if you're curious about getting people out to vote that have an interest in climate, I would suggest checking that out. I don't know if somebody wants to put that in the chat, the link to that. So anyways, obviously very important, Ruth. Very important work, Ruth. And thanks, Rita, for the question there. And for all your events, Noelle and Ruth, you have a volunteer, and Keith, I guess, from the chat here. So make sure to give them a call. Anyways, we can go to back to the slide deck. Thanks, Noelle. Ruth, you good to say something about CCL's core values?
Certainly. So here are the core values in the slide. Let's focus on optimism. Optimism in the face of challenges. We choose optimism, that people are good, that democracy can work, that we can solve climate change, and that we are greater than our flaws. Optimism turns our concern about climate change into action, and it's catching on. More and more people join us every day.
Thanks, Ruth. You. Appreciate it. Karina, mind sharing what CCL's new mission statement is?
So in the past couple of weeks, we've been talking a lot about the new mission statement. It was approved last fall, but the CCL board, CCL and CCE boards Our new mission statement says Citizens Climate Lobby empowers everyday people to bridge divides and build political will for effective climate solutions in Congress. This is different from what we used to have before, that we had for many years. We think the mission statement is clear about the work that we do, and it will hopefully help us build new relationships with other people and encourage people to join us.
Sounds great. And thanks for your work on this too. So, Ron, you want to share anything about any of the policy areas?
Oh, yes, I do. Thank you. Let me just get to that slide. So anyway, basically, these are the familiar 4 policy areas that CCL has been suggesting we work on. And these 4 policy areas are in the process of being simplified, and a new statement of our policy will be presented to the volunteer membership on the Saturday, February 14th, national call at 8 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. And I'll put the date and time and the link in the chat. And as one of National Public Radio, Hawaii National Public Radio commentators used to say, the best way to have a long weekend is to get up early on Saturday morning. So there you go. February 14th. It's going to be great.
Okay, thanks, Ron. Well, we get to wake up that much earlier in Hawaii, I guess. So, anyways, okay, so 2025 recap. We did a little bit around lobbying Congress. We have lobby days both in July and in, I guess, November or December. It's where we schedule meetings with our 4 MOCs, our 4 members of Congress. And this year, we were actually very fortunate. Karina and I were blessed to be able to actually meet Rep Case in person in DC in the hallways. That's the bottom middle picture. And then we were, I would say, even more fortunate to have Senator Schatz step in and meet with us in his office and talk to us for about 30 minutes. So I don't know if you want to say anything about that meeting, Karina. I'll continue to blather on.
As being one of the newest constituents, it was really nice to meet my representative and senator. So that was kind of cool. And it's just good to hear from the perspective what kind of work they're engaged in.
Thanks, Karina. And then the kind of other 4 shots there, various screenshots of the virtual meetings we had in, gosh, I don't know, December, I think it was. Anyways, so Kitty, I know you're new to this, so one of the things I think inspires people to stay engaged and is being a part of these lobby meetings. So if you have any questions about them, please ask or please reach out to us later about them. Love to have you on a lobby team in July, or maybe we'll make a more of an effort to try and have more than just these 2 lobby meetings, should there be interest.
Yeah, part of my problem is that I'm not a registered voter in the state of Hawaii.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, good.
Welcome to join us. But please see Ruth about registering. So, anyways. Okay, lobbying Congress. Who wants to take this slide? Okay, well, so to keep us moving along, this is CCL. This isn't all from CCL Hawaii. We didn't make all 105,000 calls, but we were, I think for our size, we were a significant portion, if not just Ron by himself probably. But anyways, had a number of meetings with Congress. We are 8 of those 1,000, close to 1,200 meetings, and also a lot of media, which we'll discuss later. You'll see what a wonderful job Virginia does having us do media. So next slide. Oh, perfect. Okay, go ahead, Virginia.
Okay. Well, all I do is sort of compile it and send out emails, and all these people listed at the bottom here are the ones that did the writing, and we have some great, passionate writers. So last year we had 32 media, 16 letters, 16 op-eds, and actually there was 15 op-eds and 1 article about our chapter, because we were featured in the CCL Weekly, the CCL Hawaii Chapter. And then another thing I just kind of quickly did today was to see what topics we covered in all of that media. And so we 14 times out of the 32, I thought was good. Carbon cashback was kind of a main focus of the letter. So sometimes things are counted twice, but I try to record what was the main focus of the letter or the editorial. But we covered a lot of topics: solar, clean energy, reducing emissions, LNG, climate change, incentives, advocacy, conservation. So it was pretty broad, and I think it was good that we got so many published on the topic of carbon cashback. And it was across, primarily in the Star Advertiser, a few in Civil Beat, 1 in Maui News. So it was across some of the islands. Not all the islands newspapers do a lot of this kind of articles. So
thanks. Okay. Just sorry, one quick thing. Just for anybody who doesn't know, carbon cashback is basically state level. What is it? Carbon fee and dividends. So for us, it's raising the barrel tax, which is a tax on the imports of fossil fuels, and giving that money back to predominantly Hawaii residents. So, anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Next slide.
Yeah, so another thing that we did quite a bit of last year just gives you an idea of what these events look like. So it's generally tabling at some of these events where people, are there for a variety of reasons. So Oceans Day was one, Earth Month, there were a few activities across the state, and we had CCL tabling at some of them. There was Environment Day and also Drive Electric Earth Month. So there are opportunities for us to be involved in events that draw people for many different reasons, and we take advantage of that. But anyway, I just want to let you know that, especially for folks that are new, that this is also one avenue that we utilize to get the message out and get people aware of climate and also the various actions that can be taken.
Well, I guess Doug isn't here, so I will try and do his piece here. Talked about the kind of the lobby days, reaching out to our members of Congress. So this is kind of grass tops engagement with lawmakers in Hawaii. Really, kudos to Doug for getting us, must have been something like 30 meetings with legislators in 2025. And also got us to participate in opening day in 2025, and then last Wednesday this year for the 2026 legislative session. And all of this effort has really paid off. We have a balcony solar bill. We were working with Representative Mike Lee, and I'm going to forget the number probably, but I think the bill actually has something like 28 co-introducers on it. So a lot of that goes to having the meetings with individual legislators and promoting the bill, talking to them about the bill. And then when it comes to carbon cashback, primary bill, we have 2 introduced in the Senate side, 1 on the House. The House bill has 19 co-introducers. which I think is the second highest that we've had. So, anyways, kudos to Doug. A lot of success there.
Yeah, I'll just add. So Doug did a lot of prodding and creating the opportunities for the conversation. But many of us here were also involved in those conversations, right? So someone leading, and then also a few of us participating. And I think that, especially when we get a conversation going with a grass top, having good attendance, for example, does say quite a bit. So just want to highlight that this is definitely a team effort as well.
Yeah, and I know you're not trying to toot your own horn, Noel, but I do want to say thank you to you and Ron working with Representative Iligan so we could introduce carbon cashback on the House side. And thank you, Ruth, for your efforts with Representative Todd. We were actually able to meet with him yesterday to let him know carbon cashback, where it is, and asking him to have a hearing. So anyways, as you said, Noel, yeah, it really is very much a team effort. And thanks, Keith. I'm going to call you out too for your work with various Big Island legislators.
I took a quick look into the number of members across the state, and this is what we have in the system. Now, we have quite a few people in there that are not engaged. And we also have people in there who have the potential to be engaged. And one of the things that is mentioned earlier, one of the objectives we have is to figure out ways to truly get more involved, right?
Thanks, Noel. Okay, so national updates. Hook here. Is this you, Ron, or Karina?
Well, I think it might be. Is that the national updates? What slide are you on right now?
What's coming in
2026?
Yeah.
Well, this list here kind of spells it out. There's going to be CCL's having a major, what would you say, ramp up. We have a new executive director, as many of us know. Ricky Bradley has been an interim ED for some time, and now he's permanently in that position. There's going to be monthly leadership calls. There's going to be chapter ready exercises, practical tools for research and outreach, and opportunities for hands-on practice. And what I might add is the current action that CCL urges us right at this time is to send a letter to the U.S. Is to call or email your senators, Hawaii senators, regarding the American forests, Save Our Forest, Fix Our Forests Act. So I'll put a link in the chat on that as we go forward.
Okay. So I have been tasked with sharing the strategic goals for the organization. As you know, we spent a long time with a lot of change, so we're happy to see Ricky Bradley get promoted to be our executive director. And with him leading, we have a strategic plan, and we also have policy objectives. So as I mentioned before, we have a new mission, and that is one of our 6 strategic goals, try to make sure that our mission and our work align. You can press the next. Yeah. So we have been working in the bigger part of January to finalize the mission statement, which you see here, and the policy commitments, which we will discuss a little bit more in the national call on February 14th. The purpose of the policy commitments is going to be just a way for us to understand and talk about what climate policy means for CCL and how we can best support it, right? How can we explain our work to anyone who is new coming to CCL, and to hopefully continue to open doors to get more people to get involved with us. The second goal is to continue to work on people being informed. And for that, we are going to invite everybody to go to the Bridge Advocacy Program. The program is based on the behavioral and network science from many people who have been experts in that field. And actually, the program has been shared with them for them to provide us with feedback. The purpose of the advocacy program is to encourage people to build relationships. And if you have been part of CCL for many years, think of the way CCL used to talk about relationship building before, right? With people who agreed on climate, people that don't agree with climate, and sort of like, how do we once again build those relationships for the purpose of our work, right? To continue to do climate advocacy. And this is built in three parts. There's going to be the moral foundations and reframing, which is a little bit of part one, the one that you see there. There's a section on knowing your audience and also how to communicate for a connection. And when you see Brett Cease, even though Brett Cease for credit more than other people, but it's really Brett Cease leading this effort to get us all to think about what is it that will help us connect with other people in a good way for us to continue doing the work that we are here to do. Goal number 3 is to look at our funding sources and build the financial reserve. So last year, we reached our 1.25 million fundraising goal, which helped us to operate as an organization. What we're looking into now, what the development area is looking at to make sure that we have more diversified sources. We want to make sure that our reserves are, continue to get better. It's nice to be able to say, yes, we are better. But also look at, what does it look like for us to partner with institutions that can possibly help us in getting the funding that we need. There's a lot of things that we would love to do. It would be great to be able to get more funding. But in order to make that possible, there's a lot of things that we have been looking inward at our organization to be like, okay, what do we do? Are the things that we do helping us engage with the communities we want to engage in? And it's good for us to also think of like, okay, yeah, where are financial resources coming from and who can we support with what we have? Also part of the goal is to develop staff. That's the staff from last year. There are a couple of team members that are not with us anymore because they went to other locations. But looking at the staff, we are looking again at everything, wanting to make sure that the coworkers are equipped with the right training that they need in order to do their jobs effectively. People at this organization have a lot of different skills. And we want to make sure that they are, that they have everything that they need in order to do their job effectively and hopefully help them grow personally and professionally. You are the first looking at this image, actually the second, because this image was just shared earlier today with the field operations team. But what I was mentioning earlier, Virginia, about data, I'm going to talk a little bit more in building this inclusive environment. So, as you know, in the last couple of years, I have been tasked with a job of trying to build more community across CCL, right? We've looked a lot at communities and belonging and what does it mean for us to build a very inclusive place across all the chapters in everything that we do. So I am very happy to see that one of the goals is to continue to build on that. Part of that work also entails looking at how we are gathering our data. Last December, I asked one of the people from Information Technology Office to look into just providing me information also based on community. Like, what are our affinity team members doing at CCL? And I want to be able to start sharing this not only with the affinity members, but everybody across CCL. And this is one of the charts that I was able to create actually 2 days ago. So I've been working, this is work that is happening right now. just looking at, okay, if these are just affinity teams, what kind of work are they engaged in? Are they writing letters to the editor? Are they contacting the legislators? Are they participating in chapter development? And what does that look like for them? So this is just a glimpse of something that I was able to find from data from 2025. And I want to be able to do that across the board, right? Not only looking at the affinity teams, but also looking at people of different backgrounds and different races and different political points of view, and trying to showcase the diversity of the work in everything that we're doing. So, yes, that includes collecting the right data. Goal number 6 for us is also to make sure that we have the right leaders. So in front of you, you see both of our boards, the one for CCL, which is the one that allows us to do the lobbying, and the board for CCE, which is the one where we provide the education, where it actually helps us pay staff. So everybody here has also skills that they need in order to be a very good and productive board member. Our boards, we are very lucky. They have done a lot of work in DEI, and they have really just looked a lot inward, which I am very grateful. The last 2 years has been a lot of that work. And it's just, again, trying to see who we can find among our different communities that can join these boards and to help us continue support that work, whether that means bringing in resources that we don't have, helping us connect with someone that can possibly help us bring more grants. Again, just ensuring that everyone is the right person that we should have with us, and these different individuals. There's also a third one when you see the advisory board. The advisory board is the third one, but these two are the ones when we really think about strengthening our board as part of one of our missions. So that's it for me. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Could you just explain what is the global majority?
So the people of the global majority is one of the action teams that got created in 2019, a year after I came on board. And it was through a presentation that many of us learned that a good number of people of color are the global majority. And at that point in time, there were many volunteers that we were meeting. It seemed that we all arrived at the same time between 2016 and 2018. And we found that we were probably the only people of color in our chapters. And we were very lonely. At that time, in addition to the global majority, we only had what is now the Latino Action Team, and those were the only two. And we were like, where are we going to connect? Where are we going to have conversations that we can have without feeling scared that we could say something that could be taken in a bad way? There was like many early beginnings of things that we were trying to do. So we created this team called the People of the Global Majority as an affinity group in order to invite all of those people that maybe didn't feel like they had a home. And then after them, we had Climate and Culture, which is inactive right now, which is primarily for the Black community, and then all of the other communities that came on board. Diversity and Inclusion is the place where we just invite all of the different volunteers to come and learn about something regarding diversity and inclusion, and just anything that has to do with what is a microaggression. I mean, those are things that we found like very early on people didn't know, and we're like, okay, we're going to turn it into a workshop. So that is our learning action team. And then the South Asian is the last one. They were formed last September, October, so they're new. Interfaith is the team that has all the leaders of the different faith communities. We have about 13 of them. The Peace Corps has been a standing group since 2019, which are volunteers that have belonged both to the Peace Corps, have done the program with the Peace Corps, but are also CCL members. And Persons with Disabilities started about 2.5 years ago, 3, which was, again, another community that just wanted to engage in climate action, and no one was really reaching out to them. So all of these communities have a home now, and it's just, I try to support them as being the VP of People and Culture. the best that I can. But yeah, that is the reason for the affinity groups. But thanks for your question.
I have one real quick. I've been working with indigenous peoples in Hawaii and also in Native Americans and specifically the Navajo. And I think it's really important to, whenever we can, enable indigenous voices, and I have some contacts. So in Kauai and Oahu, and I'd be glad to see if we can get them more involved with CCL, because again, I think those voices are super important.
Yes, thank you for thank you for bringing that voice here. Or helping us connect, hopefully in the future. So we do have, like, there are some teams that are not listed in that chart because they became inactive last year. Well, some of them have been inactive for about 2 years. Listening to Indigenous Voices is one. LGBTQIA is the other one. Asian Pacific just became inactive in October. And I'm always looking for people who want to lead those efforts. One of the things about the Listening to Indigenous Voices, it was started as an educational team for people to learn about Indigenous communities. And what I am moving forward is looking for the representation, looking for those actual community members that want to be with CCL. So yeah, I would love to. I'll put my email in the chat so that we can connect and we can talk further.
So in terms of upcoming events, here's a bit of a summary. So I think Ron mentioned that there's a monthly CCL national call, and the next one is February 14th. And then in terms of for local, we generally try and have our CCL Hawaii call on the third Wednesday of the month, so that'll be February 18th. This month it was not, because opening day at the Capitol, so we pushed it back a week. For those who want to learn more about CCL, there's an informational session every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Hawaii time. I don't know if somebody that's in the chat or whatever, might be nice to put it in the chat if somebody has a link to that. There is there's a virtual conservative conference, looks like in April, and I don't know how you would, well, I won't say it that way, but anyways, there's the conference that Karina leads in September, the inclusion conference. I'm actually sorry, Karina, I didn't realize that last year the conservative conference was actually in DC, was it not? Or
Yes, it was.
is there anyways, it seemed like it was effective, actually meeting with members of Congress, that they did, I don't know, they got to meet with 30 members of Congress or something like that, and even had one or two of them come to the after hours or what have you. Just, I don't know, maybe this question's inappropriate. Feel free to not answer, but curious why they decide to go with virtual instead of in person.
Budget. And I'll keep it there.
Fair enough. That was my guess. But okay, no, that's, goes back to what you're saying about our finances. So anyways, the big event of the year is always the summer conference in DC. And that's where, going back to the two photos we shared earlier, this year we were fortunate to meet actually a couple of members of Congress in person. Often it's we're meeting only with staffers, but either way, it's I definitely feel it's an exciting time, an inspiring time. So if you folks happen to be in DC or on the mainland and can go the rest of the distance, encourage you to be there at the end of July. Okay, call to action, Ron.
Yeah, so the slide says it all. Reaching out during January. What we want to do is follow the Climate Action Program, CAP for short, and every month or so, CCL asks us to email or call. And right now, at this time, the ask is to email our Hawaii senators, not our Hawaii representatives. So this is Senator Schatz and Senator Hirono, because right on the horizon is the Fix Our Forest Act, as I said before. The link is in the chat. The other things that are happening is just some comments here. Congress is appropriating funding for some areas of government, but not all 12 areas. And a partial government shutdown may result January 31st if the funding deadlines are not met. The House may have voted to pass them, but it's up to the Senate. Some wins that we've had is National Science Foundation funding, which also supports the National Center for Atmospheric Research. And we lobbied hard through the CAP program to preserve that funding. Another win, the Prove It Act that we've lobbied on in the past, which measures carbon intensity of certain goods produced at home and abroad, and it helps us negotiate effectively with carbon partners, particularly such as the European Union, that's just introduced their border adjustment plan. So the bottom line here is climate advocacy, as has been said earlier today, really does require action. And the easiest action, I believe, that CCL offers us is a few minutes each month to call or email our MOCs regarding the current climate legislative opportunities. And the CCL legislative team provides regular guidance and suggested talking points. So, that's huge. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron. I'm sorry. Before we head on, since Bill is kind enough to join these, I didn't know if Bill don't need to say anything, but if just so folks know, Bill is essentially a regional coordinator. He covers some 15 or 16 states, Hawaii being one of them. And I didn't know if you want to add anything, Bill.
No, I think that Ron covered that well as far as the actions go. We are, I think the one thing that I will just highlight again, which we talked about or Karina mentioned, is the bridge advocacy training is our big focus this year. And you're going to see that in a lot of places. It's being incorporated into action teams and monthly meetings and our group leader calls. And, I think it's really an amazing program, and I think it gives us an opportunity to really make our advocacy go to another level, and really understanding the moral foundations of the people that we're working with. And, like I said in my plans for this year is, really going into places where I may not agree with the people that are in that group, and really trying to appreciate where their perspective is coming from, and make it so that I can be a more effective advocate. So really, I think if one takeaway I would say is really encouraging participation in the bridge advocacy training, because I think it's a really effective tool that we can use as CCLers. And really, in honesty, I think it's something that we can all use in our own daily lives as well.
Yeah, well said, Bill. And let me just say, CCL has put out benchmarks for success of the bridge program. and they are success will mean 70% of state coordinators and liaisons will have completed the full bridge program. 50% of chapter leads will have completed it, and all us active volunteers, 25%, will have completed the bridge program, which will go through right into later in the year. There are 3 sections with 3 units in each section for a total of 9 one-hour sessions. And I agree, it's totally exciting that this focuses on how we act and react to others of different opinions. And CCL is focusing on how we do that before it really focuses on what bill do we want to support. Question is, how do we talk about that to other people? So anyway, that's just my 2 cents, and I'll put some other links in the chat on that.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Ron. Virginia, if you're still with us, talk about successes this month on the media side.
We had an editorial published just on Sunday, and it really looked good in there. It's so specific in its information. I just think it's a great editorial. And then Tom was all prepared to send a letter kind of supporting the editorial, which he submitted on Sunday also. And then it got published today, so right away. So that was nice. And it was the first letter. So they have, the letters one after another. And this letter came first. And I thought, we don't choose the headings for these, what ends up in the newspaper, but I really like the headings that the newspaper chose for both of these. So renewable energy, better for Hawaii's pocketbooks. A lot of people will just read those headings and kind of absorb the information. And so that was also great news.
Thanks, Virginia. Yeah, and I guess Tom was saying there was a piece the day before also kind of echoing some of what Tom wrote. So nice to see.
Yes. That gentleman that is really good at writing letters, and we asked him to join CCL,
right?
Several times, like, oh, you should join CCL, but I think he wants to just be an individual contributor. But he sure writes good letters.
Yeah. Well, good to have him on our side. So,
yeah, and very thoughtful, and the facts are correct, and
right,
it's good.
Right.
Mm-hmm. John Cheever.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So in terms of carbon cashback, we have a number of legislative priorities. Our top one being carbon cashback. Here's kind of here is the list of our priorities and the various bills that fall under these priorities. Tomorrow, and others are welcome to join us, we'll be meeting. If people are interested, please say so in the chat, and we can make sure to email you the Zoom link. But we're going to be talking about which of these bills we want to support. We'll be supporting all the carbon cashback bills, but in terms of some of the others. But there are bills around cleaner electricity generation. So this has to do with the renewable portfolio standard. There are various bills around reducing emissions from super users, getting to convert to electric vehicles. The fourth one, improving rooftop solar permitting. Some healthy soil. So this has to do with basically carbon sequestration and just better soil management. And then plug-in or balcony solar is getting an awful lot of attention. I seem to have missed one of the Senate bills, but there are 4 on the Senate side, 2 on the House side. So if state level action interests you, please reach out. And we continue to look for people who want to endorse carbon cashback as a policy. So link and information there. And in terms of carbon cashback, we have a general meeting on Mondays at 1:30. And then on Thursdays, we have a couple meetings. Every other Thursday, we have media, and the alternate Thursdays, we have outreach. Those are at 10 in the morning. And then we have a legislative meeting, or legislative and executive outreach Thursdays at 2 p.m. And again, if interested, please put your email in the chat. And Virginia, were you gonna? Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks. I was just going to add that Tom Graham, whenever there is a hearing on any of these the bills we're supporting, he will be putting together an action alert and to testify. And so it will have talking points that you can put in your testimony, and then he'll send it out. If you get the newsletter or if you get the daily email, he has a big list. So if you don't get either of those, maybe put your name in the chat, and I can make sure you get added to one of his lists so that you'll get those alerts. But I think everyone here is probably already on a list.
Thanks, Virginia. Very important public service announcement. Yes, we need get the word out there. So
yeah.
And Paul, let me just comment as we come to a close here. I have put a whole bunch of links in the chat, as you've seen as we've gone through. So at the top or the bottom of the chat, you may find 3 dots. And if you click on those 3 dots, you'll get a little pop-up box which says Save Chat. And if you click on that Save Chat line, all those chat informational bits will land in your on your computer. And the good news is you don't have to look at all of them, but whatever interests you, you'll have some links there. So that's what I have.
Thank you.
thanks, everybody.
One second. I need a screenshot.
Okay.
Hold on. I will volunteer to do this every month from now on, because
Thank you.
I will be in charge of your social media. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Karina.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
Helen, did you have your hand up, or were you just saying bye? Okay. Take care.
Thanks all.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Thanks.
Aloha. Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.